Hey guys, how's it going? Fillmore Brothers here, new podcast 2016. We're going to try to talk about everything related to entertainment, mainly games, movies, maybe even a little music. So let's get this started right here. So I got Demotion with me.
Hey, how's it going?
Alright, man, let's start it off. What's your first gaming memory you can remember?
Well, I guess the first clear memory I have is River Raid on the Atari 2600. I just remember that plane going up mountains, dodging stuff, and I was mesmerized. I was just mesmerized by the experience. I was mesmerized by the Atari, and since then I've been hooked.
Do you remember around what time you started playing this game?
It was around 85, 86. Definitely in the 80s. My parents had an Atari 2600. They had several games, but that game for some reason really stood out, and that's the one that I played the most. I found it engaging. I was just hooked, man, from the beginning.
Alright, that's cool. So what would you say is your favorite console of all time?
That's an easy one for me. I'd have to go with the Super Nintendo. That's the console which I enjoyed the most. That's the console with my favorite game, and that's the console that's etched into my memory forever.
Speaking of game, what is your favorite game? If you take it on from that question.
I don't even have to think about it. It's a game called Actraiser. It was absolutely amazing. For those who don't know, it was a side-scrolling action game, but it was also a building game a la SimCity. Basically, you were like a fallen god, and you had to fight these monsters. Once you defeated the monsters, you had to rebuild your lands and deal with people's problems, and then you go back into the fighting. And the mix of the two was really unique. And I think even till today, people don't mix genres enough. GTA does it, but that was really an innovation for its time.
Another thing great about that game was its music, legendary music.
Oh yeah, man! Oh, so good. I mean, the music's been remixed and done by orchestras. Even mentioned in Indie Game the movie for developers saying that I can remember Actraiser's music, and it's been like over 25 years since the game came out. So it's absolutely amazing.
I just want to add Actraiser and Super Mario World were the first two games we got with the Super Nintendo. It's probably the first gaming console we both owned. Excluding computers and all that stuff.
That's true.
And my answer would be Actraiser 2, but just to be different, I would say Super Mario World as well. Just that game
Yeah.
literally blew me away and made me want to have a Super Nintendo to begin with.
I
Again,
mean, yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's for me that's still the best Mario game of all time. It's huge. It's got so much going on. You got Yoshi, which was a new addition, which was amazing. Just beautiful game.
I'll never forget when we got the Super Nintendo, we had an older TV, so I think we had RF cable only.
Yeah,
So the way we could play our Super Nintendo was either you can play black and white with sound, or you can play with color but no sound. So every day we used to switch it up a bit. If we were playing with no sound, we would just have our, tape player in the back, have some Vanilla Ice, MC Hammer playing in the background. And I'll always remember those memories until my brother's friend, got the proper cable, we hooked it up, and we finally had sound and color at the same time. We probably played that 2 months maybe, excluding one or the other. But that'll always stand out for me.
yeah, me too. I mean, just even just getting accustomed to the soundtrack that we used to have while we were playing those games. We had our own soundtrack by putting the tapes in, so that was like a unique experience, that only we had.
Yeah, that's cool. Moving on. And in future episodes, we'll talk about these games more, these consoles in more detail. Right now, it's just a quick introduction video we just want to do. So let's go on to the next question I got here is, what would you say is your favorite modern game in the last 10 years then?
I was thinking about this, and I have to say GTA 4, which was released in 2008. I just love the GTA series, but GTA 4 was something that it was the next generation, right? So you had GTA San Andreas, Vice City, GTA 3, all in the same generation. Some of the characters appeared in the other games, GTA 4 was brand new, and it was also the first GTA on the Xbox 360 and the PS3. So it was, people were waiting for it, and I just found the game absolutely amazing. The protagonist was unique; he was different. The storyline was so strong. Uh, the game, it was just so gritty and real. As real as you could be in a game. But I just found it really refreshing at the time, and I'd have to say that's my favorite game of the last 10 years.
Yeah, definitely. I love GTA series. Love GTA 4. That's probably the only game I bought on PS3, Xbox, and PC. I bought them all of them, not at the same time, but it was just a great game, and you just want to play different experiences online on the computer, playing with my friend. I'll never forget it. He's the type of friend who always gets in a helicopter. You don't see him for a while, and he comes with a vehicle, killing people, gunning people down. So yeah, that was a great game. For me, it's a hard one. I would have to say Uncharted, probably Uncharted 1. Oh man, I remember probably one of the first games I got in the PS3. That game literally had everything: graphics, gameplay, and story, and it really took the PS3 extreme in boundaries, especially with the later games. So yeah, GTA definitely in there, but I would probably say Uncharted. That's a series I
Yeah.
love the most. What would you say is the most popular game in the last 10 years, but you didn't personally like it?
Well, just before I answer that, I also love Uncharted. Just to make that clear. In terms of games or series, I don't really rate. I'd have to say Call of Duty. I was avoiding it for a long time, and then I finally took a chance, and I borrowed Call of Duty Advanced Warfare with Kevin Spacey. The game was okay, but I felt these games are more about the movie, and the actual playing time is reduced. So really, you're just pretty much killing a couple of guys and then watching a movie the whole time. So if you're into that, it's cool, but that's not my thing. I like to play. I like to be challenged. I like to have fun. And by then, there's so many first-person shooters come out. So yeah, I find that series very overrated. Uh, what about you?
Yeah, probably the same. Just first-person shooters in general. I always get nauseated, so I can't play them for too long. So I don't mind them, but I just always get nauseated while playing them. I'll say Call of Duty definitely. And I'm gonna go out there and probably people won't like it, but Destiny.
Oh man,
I thought it was okay. I thought it was fun, but yeah, first person shooters that's not my thing. So probably that's why I didn't enjoy that game as much as everyone else.
I,
Um,
yeah, I thought that game was great. At least the first story. I have to admit, I can't play it for years and years. But speaking of first-person game, a game that's really underrated is Far Cry, especially Far Cry 4. I thought it was pretty much the GTA of first-person shooters, even down to the radio, the radio DJ, stuff like that. It was open world. You had all these extra missions, which were actually good, and not parachute into this square type of missions. Actually, like taking over a fort and stuff like that. The story was great. There was the bad guy was so funny. The comedy in the game, the action. It's very underrated. Probably one of the best games on the PS4 for sure.
yeah, I like Far Cry, but again, it's a game I can't play for too long. Get nauseated. Even in school, I always had attention disorders where I can't. If it's an open world and I don't know where to go, I get frustrated. I'll turn it off. I
Yeah.
remember getting in trouble in school all the time, never paying attention. It's just one of those things. I like more linear games where you kind of know where to go, or there's a map and it's clear navigation.
Speaking of, I have to mention the worst example of that is Far Cry 4. I don't know where the hell I'm going. It takes me about half an hour to get there, and I die on the way. So it's pretty much not playing that game anytime soon, man.
What are you talking about? Fallout 4?
Fallout 4, sorry. Yes, Fallout 4.
That's
God,
another game overhyped in my opinion. I mean, it looks
so
good,
overhyped. Yeah.
but just the navigation. I guess people who like navigating and looking at everything will enjoy that game. But
Even down to the loading time. The loading time is so poor for a PS4.
I think it's a huge game. Maybe that's why PS4, the way it works is it doesn't run off the disc. What it does is downloads into the hard drive. Yeah, that means it should be quicker, but I don't know why. Maybe it's just too big.
I just think they were lazy. They used the same engine that they've been using for years. They used it for Skyrim, and Skyrim was another amazing game, which by the same developer. And literally, you can see that they've used the same engine. And even down to the graphics, there's a huge improvement in PS3 and PS4.
All right, man. I think we'll cut it off for today on this first ever podcast of the Fillmore Brothers. This is Maverick 16-bit gamer and Demotion. Thanks for everyone
Peace.
listening.
Thank you very much, folks. Stay tuned.